Is it human tendency to love what they cannot be owned completely? Some writers agree to this. The existence of doubtless and failureless divine love depends upon the limitations in accessibility to the person we love. This is what the writers mean. There is no limitations for accessibility in marital life. The reason for that is because the spouse become completely accessible to each other through the virtue of marriage. The limitation of accessibility is the reason why the passionate love becomes more intense. I don't think that anyone can theoretically define the word love as such. Some tend to love their spouses unconditionally throughout their life, while some can't do the same. This is a fact that we have to accept. What is the reason for this phenomenon? I will try to explain this based on the research done by the renowned psychologist Dr. George Weinberg. Some men tend to be more attracted towards a woman who have rejected them. The most valuable thing in their life is that woman. They say that life without her is meaningless, and they also admit her being the world's most flawless woman. This phenomenon is mostly found in men who categorize women into two types. For example, pure and divine like their mother, and characterless like a hooker. Even the value of the woman they once loved the most loses once they get into a relationship with that woman. I'm not a good person, and if you respect me, you are not a good one either, is what these men believe in. It is not necessary that all the men with such an attitude believes in the forced philosophy, but it's a fact that most of the men have this kind of problem on a small scale. I don't claim that all love failures can be proved or explained according to the forced principles. You should not expect anything more than a generalization from this talk. Fairly a good number of love failures is because of the difficulty for them to clearly explain the reason of the decrease in their intensity of love as the relationship progresses. Once you realize that you have won their love, you don't find it necessary to maintain the same spark you once had before the relationship started. This is what I think is the reason for the decrease in love. Once we try to impress a stranger, we have a gut feeling that we may lose them some way. And this is what motivates us to impress them according to their expectations. The value of that person in your life increases once you start interpreting their expectations. Your actions play an important role in keeping your love life alive. Our actions are all due to that gut feeling, and one never notices or tries to explore the gut feeling during the beginning of their relationship. Once that person is completely yours, then you decide to discontinue the former behavioral patterns. The reason to this is the absence of the gut feeling of losing the person you love. When you are asked to sustain the love end, you experience a decrease in your love. The unexplainable decrease in your love will make you think that you have made the wrong choice. The thought of possibility of decrease in your companion's love, just like yours, will lead you to doubting your companion. As you start finding fault in your companion, the relationship will move into despair. I will try to explain this with a simple example. For instance, if a boy falls in love with a girl at first sight, the only reason to that is physical attraction. The reason for high intensity of that love is the limitation of accessibility. Due to this intense feeling, he decides to propose the girl. If she accepts the proposal, his love will decrease at the moment itself. Until he can access her completely, he will continue working hard to please her, by calling and buying gifts to sustain his love. The moment he accesses her completely, through marriage or through an immoral relationship, the limitation of accessibility will end. Then he decides to end all those behavioral patterns that sustain their love. The unrealistic interpretation of decrease in their love will lead the relationship to an end. What can you do to make your love everlasting? When you intentionally use tricks in your relationship, you renew the belief that these tricks are needed to sustain the relationship. If you continuously call your lover for hours to ensure your love for each other, remember, you are renewing the gut feeling that making phone calls are necessary in sustaining your love. This gut feeling may fail your love. In other words, the influence of your gut feeling is very high in determining the success and failure of your love. If you chose your actions wisely by precisely interpreting your gut feeling, your love won't fail. I conclude my words by saying, if your relationship is continuously failing, irrespective of your wise actions, the reason for that is the prayer by your future life partner chosen by God Himself. With love, your friend, Melvin Suresh.